Welcome everybody to Wolves After Dark. Timberwolves win. A lot to a little, kind of, but it didn't feel like it. This was a pretty gross game. We'll get into it. But if you're new here, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment if you're watching the VOD. Tell us, I don't know, say Nas Reed or something. I guess that's really the only appropriate thing to say today. So, Ashwin, as I hear my headphones stop working, how are you doing?
I'm all right, man. A win's a win. Game 2.
Yes.
You don't really have to sugarcoat it too much. There's a lot of things we could, really dissect and get angry about. But honestly, Game 2, they're still working through things, and so are we.
True. I think I heard everything you said.
Oh man,
Is bad, but yes. Well, question for the chat: do you guys want us to jump right into our reaction, or do we want to watch post-game interviews live? We'll see.
the chat's going wild.
Chat, too many answers. Calm down. Because we can do either or. Where is Jimmy? Yeah, that's right, Gerald. You do love post-game interviews.
Gerald's the vote, the voice of the people.
Well, here, I like the idea of that so that I can maybe look around my desk for something for a second. So,
all right, cool.
We'll do this.
Let's know a couple of them.
This and
don't report us.
Finding his game and then his confidence. He's a worker. He loves to be here in town throughout the summer. He's always in the gym, and those guys do a great job. And we put a lot of emphasis on guarding for him this year, and continue to do so, and rebounding. Just kind of those things too. The non-sexy things. Nobody wants to work on that stuff in the summer, but he put the work in. So,
how do you get everybody to be as decisive as he is offensively?
Yeah, when you have a talented player, when you have a talented team, and you have talent, you just you got to do simple things really well. Shoot it, drive it, pass it. When you draw a crowd, get off of it. I don't think you have to overcomplicate things. He's does things quickly. Like that's what we've always loved about him. He's just a catalyst in our offense as he creates next action basketball. And if he does hold it, it's usually with some poise and purpose now. Whereas before maybe it wasn't. But yeah, he just it's something we stress all the time. And I thought guys did a way better job moving the ball, but he's one of our best ball movers for sure.
Seems like the physicality tonight was a lot better than it was in Toronto. And I'm wondering, do you think, obviously Miami was on the second end of a back-to-back, but you seem to grind them down in the second half. Are there things schematically that you do as well as just, getting into people that is, part of that scheme of being all in on bigs?
Well, yeah. But we've talked about being more physical. I thought we were pretty physical in Toronto, to be honest. I thought Toronto was different. It was about standing up drives, taking those drives, and those guys were coming downhill. I thought we did a good job there. So I think we've found some physicality. We've also been playing without fouling, which is huge. Big growth for us. We got to continue to do that. Without the silly fouls. Of course, you're going to have fouls when you play physical, but yes, there's some things that we're trying to do schematically that force a more aggressive, physical, defensive personality. Last year we just kind of, we sent everything to Rudy, and it just, it wasn't fair. So we got way too many good defenders out there, and everyone's got to do a bit more of their part. So. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I do believe, in the game, you have to be able to guard pick and roll in a variety of ways. I think gone are the days when you just set up shop and you just can do it. Well, you could do it, but at some point you're going to force to make adjustments. If not here now, it'll certainly be in the postseason. So you might as well figure out a few coverages that you like. So
we talk a lot about wanting to find combinations of guys, 2 or 3 guys that play well together with Nas. Is there certain guys that you have found that he maybe meshes well with, or specifically related to Carl and Rudy? Is there one that you maybe prefer him playing with over the other?
Specific to Carl and Rudy, I don't really think with the luxury of Nas is that he can roll and he can pop and he's a dynamic roller and he rolls with some explosiveness. So he can play with a lot of guys, play with a lot of different guards. So I wouldn't say, specific to Cat and Rudy, like there's just one that's better than the other. Defensively, of course, when you have Cat and Nas out there, depending on what's going on with the other team, like you might have to cover a little bit more ground on things or change how you're guarding it. But so far, I haven't noticed to be like preferential partner for him.
Coach, what did you think of Kyle Anderson's play tonight, and how important is someone with his role and skill set for your goals for this season?
Yeah, I mean, Kyle was Kyle. He got in the middle of the zone. He made a ton of great plays, finding people. When the ball's in his hand, you feel a sense of calm. Gets his hands on a lot of things. Organizes us out there. And he's basically a point guard. Even if he's not bringing the ball up, we want him to have the ball early and often. So, really good. Good game for Kyle, and I think it was a key stretch where he was just getting loose in the second half in the middle of the zone when he came in and got us a few cheap buckets. So, thanks.
Nice.
Okay. That's good. Well, the headphone adventure is over. I'm just going to try to do this. And Ashwin, if you hear yourself, let me know.
Okay.
But cool. I think they may come like on and off of this as it happens. So we'll maybe check back in. But for now, we'll go back because we haven't talked at all about the game so far. So the game, I think if the fourth quarter hadn't happened, if Naz Reid wasn't a thing, we would be having a very somber Wolves After Dark right now.
Potentially a different discussion.
Yeah, potentially a very different discussion or no discussion. We may not have been here. No, it was gross in so many ways. And, I know everybody's going to come here and rush and say like, oh, like you guys just hate Towns. Towns was certainly a part of it, but it was way more than Towns. Like Ant was having issues. Rudy was like, okay, honestly. And he's been surprisingly for the last two games, maybe the most like even keeled person on the team, but like Nah was just awful for a long time. It just was not good.
Yeah. We could have that discussion tonight. I think in a lot of ways, it's so early to comment negatively when we're working through our own thing. We're matching up against teams as opposed to them matching up against us, and so we played down to the no Jimmy, no Kevin Love, no Udonis Haslem team. In a lot of ways, we didn't. I don't know. It didn't seem like we had the energy or spirit of a home opener. And I really loved the home opener, like kind of intro and just like introduction of all the players. It seemed really hype, and the love for Naz Reid, especially, that was so cool to see. And even the introduction of Anthony Edwards, the Divine Five. That was a cool little new thing to.
They said that. I didn't even hear that. Okay,
yeah.
Interesting.
Donning the Divine Five.
I thought you just made that up.
I'm not that creative. It was a rough watch. I feel like sometimes I remember when this is a really really bad comp. There was like a very emotional day for Timberwolves when like Flip passed and then we played a game and we were struggling to score for like 38 minutes. Rubio led us in scoring with 29 points that game. It was just a very emotional day. And so this is like a big day for Timberwolves, home opener and everything. And so maybe, we were just kind of, working through the cobwebs. You look good without your glasses.
No, I don't. But
in a lot of ways, like in a couple moments here where we were the only game on NBA TV, it was cool to see the bigs work. The two big man lineup, and it was Naz and Rudy out there in the fourth quarter, kind of closing things out and building on our 2 to 3 point lead into a 12 to 18 point lead. That was pretty cool to see. Mm-hmm. I think that kind of just like supports one, while other people aren't making their shots, it's easy to just like point fingers. When the ball's not moving, it's easy to be like, why am I not getting the touch? But it's really important to play your role on defense and sprint back on defense. And I think we held transition in check tonight. I think
Yeah.
we had the better of them in the half court. And we played like the bigger team, the better team when it mattered. And I'll get off my chair here, and I'll say that like it was just great to see a spurt from someone, and it happened to be Nasri tonight. That's kind of why we paid him, because it can be Nasri, and it's refreshing to have a Nasri pull us out. Like we don't have to always rely on Cat and Ant and Gobert and the others. It's nice to have a refreshing moment where it's like, and that's why we have Nasri out there.
Exactly. And for me, you know, I have this stupid angle that I always go at with the Timberwolves is that it's like, you know, I think it's all about like fan momentum in a lot of ways.
Agreed.
And like fan momentum with the Timberwolves is they're terrible at it. Both the players and the organization are terrible at it. And Naz Reid is one of those guys where like if he has a good game like this, you heard the crowd. They're going nuts. They're cheering Naz Reid. You know, they're interviewing after the game. It's just like this is good vibes and good like momentum. But yes, catch up on some comments. So Timberwolves Nation, I believe that's France. Great to see you. Stephen Christensen. Yes, yeah, welcome back. Stephen Christensen. After the game, I was called stupid. And then that Nas should come off the bench or Cat should come off the bench for Nas. Here's the thing. You can't have Cat come off the bench. So we're kind of with you, but like you can't have him come off the bench because he's just not that player and he won't accept that kind of a role. He unfortunately is good enough to be a starter just by himself on his own team. That is not winning, but he'll get numbers. That's what Cat is. I hate to say it, but at the moment we have yet to be proven wrong. So,
well, it's year 8-9 for him, and I think it's a big year for him. It's the biggest year for him. It's we have tried to build this team around him for 8 or 9 years now. You know, like we've discovered who he was as a rookie. Game 1, holy crap! Let's build our team right now around this guy. Right? He looked phenomenal, and with the tutelage of KG, you know, we had Andre Miller at the time, Tayshaun Prince at the time, some other vets. You know, probably held him in check, probably guided him to some extent. We had Sam Mitchell for the coach, you know, and they were vibing in a culture level. Mm-hmm. He's had a lot of culture change, and Thibodeau maybe sucked the fun out of it for him. You know, Jimmy Butler sleeping with his girlfriend might have sucked the fun out of it before. But you know, I'm just saying, like, I'm not giving him excuses, but it's like year 8 or 9, and we're now rebuilding. We're now building with him. We found gold with Anthony Edwards. We made this monster trade last season for you, Karl Anthony Towns. And now it's like, this is let's make this team ours, not yours. And well, we got a team win. It wasn't one individual effort, although it was a Herculean effort from Nas.
Yeah,
you know, like the cat stuff. I think we can be talking about it ad nauseum every game, after every game. Small things I was cringing about this tonight, but you know. Maybe we game recognized game. Finch saw Nas had it and just like kept Nas out there. And in a lot of ways, in the Toronto game, the Nas plus big was working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Nas and even slow-mo was working. Mm-hmm. But the Cat and Rudy dynamic needs some time. Needs more than 2 games this season. Mm-hmm. Needs more than just a preseason. Needs more than like 10 to 15 games of last year. It's going to need some time, and it's going to suck for us at times when teams go small and when teams go like Duncan Robinson at the 4 and Cat can barely post him up. But it's what we have, and we have to play that role. We have to play big because that's what we are. And actually, it's so weird and telling, and I'll stop talking now, but it's so weird and telling that we are so big that we have to shoot more than the opposition from 3 because the other team is just naturally going to shoot 3s. So we have to prioritize it. And with Cat not shooting as many 3s as we would like to hope, I wonder his role internally, what he wants to do in the game.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. And again, I know you said it. I said it. We're not going to go on this tangent about Cat today. That will happen. It's the second game of the season. We've also had this tangent forever. But But yeah, it's what is he thinking in his head that his role is? Because at the beginning of the game, we pointed out in the Discord, shout out the Discord, joining in the link in the bio. But we were talking about how they announced Cat the last as he was like the star of the team. And I'm not saying he's not a star, but like, is this not clearly Anthony Edwards' team? Like all over the offseason, it was like shifting to Ant, and even like people saying about how Ant is going to be the focal point. And then we have Cat as last. I get he's the most tenured, on the team, but like, I don't know. And I'm sure another thing mentioned in our Discord by Big Boy, he was like, if this could be something that Ant made or like signed off on, to help him mentally feel like he's that guy. But that's ridiculous. We can't be playing these games. We can't, like, I don't know. You've been in the league almost 10 years. We like, how do you have to be pumped up like a child to like perform? That's crazy. It's just crazy to me. But
he had that burst. He had that burst towards the end of the third quarter, I think, where he had that couple drives. One was a dunk, which was a pretty awesome dunk. One was should have been potentially an and one, and then he shot from three and was really mad at himself for not making that three. And well, that stuff happens, but yeah, he plays in those bursts, and I think even the Dominican Republic games in FIBA, he had bursts, and that's great. But he was shooting from three without any abandon, like he was just shooting, and I think he's hesitating a lot with this team because he wants to get the whole ball movement moving. We had 30 assists on 44 makes tonight. That's a good percentage. Like 60-70% of our makes were assisted. That's great. But like, I think in terms of like being selfless, it's kind of selfish in a lot of ways. I've been told that before in my day jobs that I've had. You have to get yourself established. You have to get yourself done. You have to get your tasks done, and then you can help other people. Because you're relied on this role or these tasks or this part of the game is yours, and then you can help other people. So like in a lot of weird ways that like related to like our day jobs.
I know there's so many. That's the thing. I think of it. I always try to compare it to like the jobs that I have because it's like, well, obviously I don't play basketball, so like I can't be like knowing exactly what it's like to be in his shoes. But like everybody has a job. This is his job, and there are things that connect us in those ways, in the same little ways that you're talking about. But
and in the same like the same kind of conversation, Gobert looks remarkable this season. This is what I wanted this year from Gobert. He said he has a couple shot put stuff that I don't like, but the way that he gets involved offensively, the way that he gets penetration easily, and then the way he sets screens, we don't have that. We don't have that if we don't have Gobert. We don't have a screen setter like we with Gobert. He's one of a kind in that regard. And on the defensive end, it's really hard for certain guards to drive. It's really hard for certain guards to recover from the drag and hedging, and then also drive to Rudy Gobert. It's really phenomenal to have that. He knows his role. Ant, I feel like, knows his role, but tonight maybe like had a little bit of a step slow in his new shoes and stuff like that. But he had a team high 7 assists. You can't bag him for kind of like letting the other people, play up to their role when he had it going, but maybe he didn't need to go all out tonight. He still got his. He still got 17. Still got 19 and 7 though.
He did. The one thing I'll say on Ant real quick, and then maybe we just want to jump right because we're talking about players, so we could just jump into the tier list. But the brand new tier list brought to you by Ashwin. But Ant tonight, the thing that I've kind of said about Towns a bit is that it's like, you kind of just have to figure out how to play with others. And Ant right now kind of seems like he doesn't know how to. He is now being paid. He is now the guy, and he is struggling to fit in with Kat and Rudy and everybody else. And sure, like again, for all the players, this is the second game of the year. They're still figuring out. It's disappointing and shocking because in the preseason, albeit preseason, it seemed really good. But and we seem like a totally different team these first two games of the actual games of the year than we were in preseason. But that's just how it's going to be. All I care about, we got the W. And yeah, And yes, Solidus. That's another huge change this year is that Rudy does. Or wait, did I read that wrong? Rudy looks the same as last year. He looks better because he's playing with a better. See, yeah, that's true.
Okay,
That
that's
no,
true
that is
too.
true.
That
Yep.
one pick and roll where Conley lobbed it up for a Rudy dunk. Okay, we can see that 10 times a game. I love that. The pick and roll is some of my favorite, like bread and butter. How can you stop that when you have to actually stop the penetration, and that the person who does is the person who's usually the person who's running with the rollman. It's so easy to execute. It takes no brain power, but the other people on the perimeter need to be ready and stay ready. We don't see it enough because I feel like it's just a pop league now.
Yeah.
We pick and pop, and
Yep.
I still see some like stragglers on offense. I still see some heads are rolling, like where am I supposed to stand kind of stuff. But early, kinks in our armor. Like we'll iron it out, and I kind of believe in the system. I kind of believe in a lot of the core group of these players. It's just they need to believe in each other.
Yeah. Yep.
And like you said, with playmaking from Ant's passing needs to be refined, and he's asked a role that he's never had before. He has never been the person who's like, you know what, you should also pass it 10 times a game.
Yeah.
Right. So we get to see that version of Ant as well, and I think I love it. I think I love this version of high usage. It reminds me of like early days James Harden. But I do caution that where his handle has improved, his passing is still kind of lofty, and there's a lot of air underneath his passes.
Yeah.
And I think I think just everyone's roles are just kind of like shoring that conversation is like Na brought the energy, Conley had some energy, Gobert had the energy, Nas had the energy, and it was like, sometimes it's not Ant and Can't, sometimes it's just not going to be that way.
Yeah. Yep.
Glad we could get the W though.
However, oops, I didn't share the screen, so I can't even do it. I think it's tier list time. Tier list, everybody, POGChamp or whatever. Let's see. I got to make this look right. There, that looks pretty good.
There's also, if you scroll down, there's like a presentation mode. Did you know that?
There, am I not in it already?
Scroll down a little bit more.
Presentation. Boom. And no ads. Holy cow. This is so much better. Okay. We made it. And everybody shout out to Ashwin for redoing the tier list. We've got a D-low tier. We've got all the new players. We don't have to fix in. I mean, we literally had like half wrong players yesterday or whenever the last game was. So this is amazing. Him. Let's see. Does the soundboard work?
Who is him besides me?
There we go. But yes, that's the fastest I've found something on the soundboard so far. Anyways.
That's what movies is made of. This is what movies is made of.
Tier list time. I'm gonna have too much fun with this stupid thing. But anyways,
I love it. We gotta separate ourselves from Dane Moore, man.
We do. I know. Thank you guys for being here. I know Dane Moore is an option now, so we appreciate all of you. We are going to do our tier list to give you an explanation for people who haven't been here before, because we do have quite a few people here today. A1, unforgettable performance, like, maybe best of that player, maybe ever, or just at least one of their best games ever. But like definitely a game that you will remember from them. Wancho tier is like the worst, Wancho. And Glenn Taylor is like consistently Wancho because Glenn Taylor just likes to have a bunch of Wanchos. So, and then C is what we expect out of a player. C, maybe B, somewhere in that realm is like kind of what we expect. Ties usually are broken by wins or losses. So we go up for wins, down for losses. And it's all based off of expectations. So this isn't just off stats. This is off of what do we expect out of that player. So there may be times where Ant gets 30 points, but he shot 10 of 35, and we might give him a D, low, whatever. So anyways, now that it's out of the way, feel free to participate in chat. Who would you like to start with tonight? And we can kind of go through quick. Godfrey says D-low tier is the Wolves are holding them back. Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God.
Godfrey.
Welcome back to the show, Godfrey. Is it year 5 with us, Godfrey? I don't know. I don't know how long we've been doing this, but it's been. I think the ant years when we maybe started.
I was just thinking back to this.
4.
It wasn't before COVID, was it? Or was it?
I don't
know. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We're size 20s. I can't make those up. I can't take them back. So I got big feet.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so good this year. It's gonna be so good. I want to match your stray voltage with some of my own, but I can't. I don't have a soundboard. But yeah, let's start out with like. All right.
I'm done.
Sometimes they don't sound as good. Was that Ed Malloy?
That was Ed Malloy.
Nice. Let's shout out to the boys, Josh Minot, who I call Jake Minot, our tier list. Leonard Miller, and Baby Mac getting some time. That block to near the end of the game was pretty wild. I think Josh Minot can jump out of the gym. However, that's maybe his only skill set. Leonard Miller tried to do a little layup or a dunk and got denied. Next time will be the best time. And Baby
I'm
Mac,
gonna give Josh Minot a B, by the way. I like him
block?
tonight. Even just that block, honestly, maybe even an A. I don't know. Maybe I won't go crazy. We'll give him a B.
Go crazy, man. This is our tier list.
Yeah.
This is how we separate ourselves.
Yeah, Leonard Miller was whatever.
Well, yeah. And then Baby Mac. It actually was nice to see Baby Mac out there tonight. Sometimes
I really liked it.
I really worry about his time out there because he's such a deficit on D. But I think he actually got motion moving. He got the ball moving. I think he had like 4 assists in 4 minutes or something. And that's a B. That's a B for me. Like A tier would be getting him like, double digits in minutes. But go ahead and give him an A. I don't care. For 3 and 4, do it. Do whatever you want to do. It's a win.
I don't know. I guess I kind of want to give him an A just because he felt, I don't know, when he was out there, it felt better. I just really liked it.
Mm-hmm. It's really funny, like we'll get into Conley and stuff like that. Conley has a role that sometimes he needs to be a little bit more aggressive than he wants to be let on. What's up, Eric? But he also has 4 starters with him, right? So like Conley has to get the dudes with the egos, the dudes with the pocketbooks going. Like McLaughlin has to get everyone going when he lines up. So to do that on such a short stint, this is usually like just a break moment, just like a end of quarter situation, and to do that with such efficiency tonight is warranted of the tier that we are giving him, I think. All right, yes. Moving on. Troy Brown Jr., it was a really cool sighting to see you on the court last game versus the Raptors. Tonight, 15 minutes. Boy, Jim Peterson talked you up, and every time he did, it resulted in a turnover. I didn't see anything out there from you, but I can close my eyes and pretend that you're a 3-point shooter. You haven't made one yet, but I'll give you a D low.
Yeah.
We're holding you back.
I think that's fair. There's not much else to say. I agree with everything you said. Turnover machine, and like you said, I can close my eyes and think that he's a 3-point shooter, but we have yet to see it in person. So,
yeah. And I'll let you talk about Shake Milton. In 17 minutes, he had 2 points, 2 assists, and a couple turnovers.
Yeah, Shake also has been a disappointment this year. Again, this tier list is just for tonight, but like maybe he felt slightly better and maybe a little bit more energetic. He had that play where he jumped on the ground for the loose ball. But like, and I think he got like a good steal at some point. But in general, it's just still not feeling great, to be honest. So I'm still probably gonna be giving him a D-low tier tonight. I don't know. Again, it's one of those things. It's the same as Troy Brown, where it's like I can imagine him being really good on this team, but it so far does not look like that's going to be happening. So
it's like the reverse jinx, like new team syndrome. You want to outperform your role, and you tend to do that. You tend to you kind of Matt Ryan it, and well, they are Matt Ryan on the bench right now for us. They aren't doing a whole lot.
Yeah, why can't people do that for us? They get traded to us and then have 30 points one night or something.
Where's Jake Layman when you need him?
Where is Jake Layman?
I think he's playing volleyball, or is that Chase Budinger?
Oh, probably Chase. Chase seems like that, yeah.
Well, actually, Chase went pro playing volleyball.
Pro. Interesting.
Okay, I'll let you handle this one too. Kyle Anderson, wearing the divine number 1, A1 since year 7. 23 minutes, 5 for 6 from the floor, 12 points, 4 assists, a couple of boards, a couple steals, a couple turnovers, a tale of 2 halves in terms of with glasses or without glasses.
Yeah.
What's our grade for him, and what are your thoughts on him?
I think the grade is probably still a C, maybe even a B. I know he had some bad turnovers, but I just thought that tonight he kind of felt like the Kyle Anderson of last year that was like steadying any weirdness that was happening out there. He was making some buckets even. Yeah, I don't know. This felt like the Kyle Anderson that filled in for Cat a little bit last year, and was able to do like point forward kind of stuff, and kind of initiate our offense, calm our guys down, and just get some easy buckets. So I think the turnovers for me probably keep it at a C, but if there weren't the turnovers, I'd probably be at a B.
Yeah, there was one where he had the kind of like he was dribbling way too fast for his own good, running, sprinting apparently, and he threw the ball ahead of Anthony Edwards. That's just like, man, if we're gonna be a winning team, that is a possession you look back and you're like, those are 2 points, man. Like in a game where it was like 74-73, like 84-80, like 2 points is 2 points, but 2 points at any given time can really, like, that could have been fuel for us, and we ended up giving it away, And yeah, I agree. I would say probably a B- to a C for Slow-Mo on my end. I'll let you do whatever it is. And then we don't usually talk this much about a bench, but it feels like the bench came to play when the starters went astray. And Naz Reid donning double 1, JJ Barea, may you rest in peace. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, an assist, team high plus 30, and also he went 10 for 14 from the field, including 4 for 7 from 3, all off the bench.
Yeah.
What do you got?
It's like one of these situations where I'm super close to an A1, because this really was just such a good game for him. I think it's hurting him right now that the rest of the team and the game really sucked, because if this would have been a fun game the whole way and then he did that, this was like, I'd probably have already had him in A1 before we started the tier list. But I do think there's a couple of factors here. One, he did get paid, and now there are expectations from last season and the money now, and I think that maybe also lowers it a little bit. So I think I'm probably an A and not an A1, but it's close.
I think it's an A1 because I don't think we win this game without him. I think this is a very memorable game because it's like year 4 or year 5, and he's such an expectation now from it being undrafted from LSU. Like, it's crazy that he went undrafted and he stuck with us, and we're sticking by him. And I think that in the home opener, we could have had a showing from Ant. We could have a showing from Cat. We had duds, right, for the most part. Yeah. And who came up and showed out and made those people in the crowds happy on a Saturday night, even those dudes wearing astronaut costumes.
Yeah.
Naz Reid. I think Naz Reid, people name their cats after him now, like it's just it's what it is. And I think we have to raise our expectations of what we should grade him on a nightly basis. Yeah. Cool.
Shout out the boy Lynx, yes. But yes, you've persuaded me. I was close anyway, so you got me there. But pause. Anyways,
Bruh.
Who's up next? Nah.
Well, we're
on the starters.
Yeah, we're up to our starters. We got 5 more players to do, and before we do them, there's a thing in the bottom. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to comment, just Nas read. It makes sense. What your grades you might have disputed or went against the grain here, or just like a comment about what we're doing here. We're trying to do a little bit something different than the other shows. We don't have dollar off pints, but we do have the memes. We do have a soundboard. We do have a live look at the post-game pressers, and we have a tier list on occasion. So if that suits you and if that is entertaining to you, don't forget to share it with your friends, because road to 500 is an expectation for us this year, and we're at like 420 blaze it right now. And it's honestly very gratifying to see that number grow, but it's just like an ode to you. It's like a nod to you guys to like being a part of this. All right, with 5 players to go, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 23 minutes, and boy, like 25 of them, or like 22 of them felt a little strange, but 5 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks of steal, 2 straight from the floor, 1 for 6 from 3. Cameron, this guy brought a lot of energy tonight.
Mhm.
You couldn't say he didn't bring it tonight. But his shot's not falling, and we're asking him to shoot as much as he can because the ball's swinging his way. Cat's passing to him. Cat's deferring to no. And in every instance of that sentence, I disagree with it. But there he is. At least he's shooting. Do you have a grade for him?
Yeah. 3. Do you have a grade for him?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
C.
D'Lo.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think it's, and maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know, but I just expected more out of him this season. I expected, obviously, I know that not everybody's going to play at a playoff level in the second game of the regular season. I get it. But Na was just so crucial and was able to hit threes for us late last season. And we needed him as a scorer. And you know, he at times he even brought things that Jaden wasn't able to do for us in scoring, and that was like super valuable. And he is just, I mean, like he did have effort tonight. You know, there was tons of effort tonight. He had a great, like, there was this great steal that he had. I don't know. I get it. Like, he's not obviously a player that you hold to like the highest of standards. But I don't know. I just thought that this could have been better. So and the first half really was such a stinker. So I guess I say D'Lo.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you have the final say. Maybe while I'll convince you that it's a C. And D'Lo is, I think, his shot is just broken right now. His shot is not falling. Everything else is falling in line. He didn't do a whole lot of wrong in the game against Toronto. He was one of our like half-court defensive like saviors. Honestly, it's just his shot's not falling. We can kind of forgive him. It's game 2. Iron out that shot over time. The best part about his game is that we don't have to rely on his game. It's coming off the bench that we are so excited about. Bringing him with Nas, with slow-mo, just seems like such a breath of energy off the bench. But the fact that he's starting, you know, maybe his role is a bit of a misfit. And the fact that we are relying on him so much to shoot when we shouldn't be. We really shouldn't be. But
yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah, we should not.
So he's given the ball a little bit too much, and I think that's a hand into another player or two. But the fact that he's shooting, I think that's what we want. Like I said in the beginning, like somewhere in that little diatribe that I had, like we're so big and we are so much slower than most teams that the 3-ball needs to be just a priority. And the fact that he took as many threes as Mike Conley, who both took more threes than Cat, is something to be said, right? So, all right.
Yeah. I think we can give him a C tonight. I see your points. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be too harsh on him, but he really was not great in the beginning. So.
Mike Conley, 29 points. Nope. Mike Conley, 29 minutes, 14 points, 5 assists, 4 boards, no turnovers as he does. 6 of 10 from the floor, which is nice. Very nice, very nice, very nice. I will say my grade for Conley is to be determined. It is determined by you, the voters at home, as well as you, Cameron, because I don't know where to grade him.
I do know where to grade him. I'm going to 3, 2, 1 myself. 3, 2, 1. C. I think this is what I expect out of Conley. Last game, I complained that he wasn't taking as many shots. We needed him to take more shots, to take more pressure off of Cat, off of Ant, even off of Rudy, even off of Na. You know, like we needed 5 players. It's just like the Rubio situation. I don't think he's Rubio, but I think this is what I expect out of him, and it was way better than last night. However, it seems like, we've got some different opinions in the chat. So Gerald says D, TC says B, and Godfrey says B. Interesting. Okay. Well,
you were going to say something, though?
I just think it was better than yesterday for sure. But like, and I guess, I've I've sort of like changed the expected role to be like a B minus C plus, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
So I could maybe get around to being there, but now TC has changed to a C. My brain is doing mental math and I can't figure out letters.
Crunch the numbers, man. Crunch the numbers.
I think it's a C, just because TC changed. So I think it's a C. But again, this is not to say that we thought he had a bad game, because C is just what we expect out of a player. So this is better than the last game. And he made some shots. He looked more spry out there for however old he is. But yeah, no, I think there was some better Mike Conley tonight. Feels like a 7th May team.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with the grade. I'm kind of agreeing with Gerald more so than what you said in commentary and what other people are saying in the grade. Tonight was the first time I felt like, man, he is just a little bit older than the rest of this team. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing to have him and his role as the vet-laden coach, extended player on the court. But if he's not running the offense, if Shake Milton's not running the offense, if Baby Mac's not running the offense, like, we're reliant on Slow-Mo and Ant. And I guess it's a luxury that we have that many potential players to run the offense. Why can't it just be the one? But it just has to be spread out, right? Conley in the corner isn't a good look for us, but it is a look that we play and we debut and or deploy rather. And Conley in the corner just chucks the 3. Like, there's no shock there. And even Gobert was doing some weird around the defender pass to get Conley a 3. But Conley is not like this remarkable shooter. He has a floater game and he has that pick and roll game. And he needs to get other people involved. I felt like it just wasn't happening. And when we need energy in the weirdest and worst ways, you kind of have to go to Ant. You can't really rely on Conley ever. And you kind of need that power play from Cat. You need that dunk and him pumping himself up, with whatever celebration that is. You can't rely on Conley. And I think that's not a slight on him. It might be a slight on our roster kind of composition, like what our position on the point guard is maybe our weakest. Mm-hmm. And so anyways, Conley, 36-year-old, he's killing it. But I'm a little worried about that position moving forward long term, because he's going to be exposed. He's not the defensive stalwart that he used to be. He's a step slower. He's not running the offenses the way that I think we should be running a little bit more. He's not aggressively passing to Towns. And he's not pick and rolling with Gobert the way that I think at least should happen more than 4 times a game, Yeah. So at least tonight. Yeah. And I think, there's a lot of things, of voices in his head, even his own, observation of the game, but also Finch needs this to be done. Cat needs his touches. Ant needs his touches, right? He has a really weird role in our team. And I just wish it was more defined or the ball was moving in a syncopated fashion, the way that the Spurs play, even with brand new players,
Or the way we played in preseason.
Or the way that we play in preseason. I will give you that for sure. Anyways, that was kind of a nothing comment. That was kind of a nothing comment, but honestly, I'm excited that we have him. It's just tonight was kind of man, he looked a little slow.
The thing that I'm broken on is that I think that he, like, every time he shoots, I think it's going in for some reason. It's kind of like how I thought about Beasley, because Beasley was that same person where I was like, he's gonna take it, and I can't see a miss. Every time he takes it, I'm like, I know it's going in, and it's not. But like, that's sort of Conley for me, especially from three. But yeah, so cool.
Yep. Goofy Rudy Gobert, 31 minutes, 14 points, 14 rebounds, no blocks.
I blame this all on Goofy Rudy Gobert.
And 7 for 9 from the floor, no free throws. But a lot of running up and down. Paid to run up and down. And give a grade. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, a grade in 3, 2, 1.
C. I guess maybe. I didn't think about Rudy's grade at all during the game. He also felt like a non-factor to me. But I guess in the way I look at it is somewhat stat-wise, because he's one player that you kind of can look at stats and be like, okay, this is how much they contributed to the team. Unlike Jaden, where when Jaden plays, he could have 2 points, 3 rebounds, and like 2 steals, and it could have been an A1 game. But like with Rudy, stats do matter, and do usually tell more of a story. I mean, 14 and 14 is good. And we also kind of expect that out of him. He looks better this year than he did last year to me. And, maybe I think it was Saldus that said it earlier, he just playing with a better point guard makes him look better, even if he's not. But it just feels better out there. He is catching some lobs. He's doing some dunks. He's doing your favorite push shot. No, I don't know. I think he was okay. I'm not like against this game from him. Again, this is just somewhere in the realm of what I expect, I guess. So I guess B- C+ is where I am.
Great efficiency, from the big dude who mostly just plays below the rim. I love it, and what I want to see is more of this type of Rudy Gobert. I don't want to like see him on the top of the key or near the free throw line at all. And his role was a little bit more defined tonight than it was in Toronto, where we were aggressively feeding him. It felt like he was willing also to pass it around. And I think we don't need him to take 10 or 12, 15 shots. We need him to get to the line, of course, where that's maybe where he dropped the ball here tonight. Mm-hmm. But Heat aren't big. Heat were playing Duncan Robinson at the 4. Bam Adebayo was like being replaced by some like dude named like Thomas Bryant or something, who usually could probably have been like a Wolves killer or something to some regard when he was playing for the Wizards. But he's kind of a shell of himself now. And we didn't give the bigs of Miami much to like brag home about, man. Bam Adebayo should have gotten like 30 points tonight, but he only was held. Yeah. He only held to 19, and there's a lot of jumpers, a lot of chucking on Miami, and a lot of like forced twos and like short like shot clock situations. Yeah. A lot of it is just like the big man is doing his job, and they can't penetrate to the rim. They can't drive with any sort of like clarity. And I think that's just a general statement for Gobert on the court. Mm-hmm. But like Gobert really pressed that role tonight, at least from what I saw.
Yeah. Noah says Rudy had a great game. Sounds like a B to me.
Sounds like Noah's right.
I like it, Noah. Now we're on to some doozies. So Ant and Kat, who goes first?
We'll go with Karl Anthony Towns. 31 minutes.
Which Towns?
That's up for us. That's up to us. That's up to you, actually. 31 minutes, 12 points, 5 for 12 from the floor, 1 for 4 from 3-point land, 1 trip to the free throw line, but 10 rebounds. So he got his double-double. And he got 3 early fouls, and I think he didn't get any after that.
Yeah.
And I was really struggling with his impact until the third quarter, where I think he had like a 3, 6, 8-point burst or something all on his own. That was good to see. Maybe it was just 6 or something. But a grade for Kat, if you're ready.
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1.
D-Lo. Yeah.
We're holding him back. We're holding him back.
We are holding him back. I do think I can't go full cat tonight. We're gonna do the regular cat. This will be saved for something like a very, very heavy stray voltage game or something. There wasn't a ton. However, the thing with Towns that I was thinking about during the game is I hate that I can tell how he is going to be in the night before he's even played a single minute. I can just tell by his attitude before the game how much voltage there's going to be. And yes, you are right, TC. Here it comes. No, I don't have anything else. But that, I mean, seriously though, like we know how it's going to be. We can see the frustration building. I will say, in Cat's defense, he is, at least from where I'm seeing, I'm not seeing slow-mo replays, but it does seem like every single time he drives, he's getting fouled and not getting calls. So, I mean, like, I understand that he does the thing that I assume refs hate, where he's like flailing and flopping his arms everywhere, and they think that he's trying to sell something. But realistically, I think he's actually getting fouled. And it's really annoying and unfair because I get it. Like, but you can't, just because he's doing that, you can't just be like, okay, well, no, I'm not going to call the foul because he's selling it or something, because that's just not okay. I mean, if that were the case, then Joel Embiid should never get a foul call. So I don't know. That's the one thing I will say in defense of Cat tonight. But other than that, I mean, he had those 8 points in a row, which was great. I think he was fouled on one of those plays too. But yeah, I don't know. We need more.
That can take you out of a game too. It's like you're trying your best and you're trying to get the rip through, or you're trying to get the call and you don't get a call on multiple possessions. I totally see that. I feel like he didn't play with the energy that the team needed him to. I thought the fact that he wasn't as aggressive as he should have been at the start of the game was very telling. He was kind of, I think he got in the way of Naz Reid a couple times for boards. Small little ticky-tack things that were like I'm nitpicking him for. In what is ultimately a very average game for him. 12-10 shouldn't be exciting. We shouldn't be like clamoring and being excited about that. That's our star player getting like below average numbers, right? Against a team who's just straight up inferior to you. You should actually be dominating this game. You should be getting 25 points before the third quarter ends, and then you don't have to play the fourth. Like, if we want to be a team in the direction that I think we're heading or trying to be heading towards, Cat needs to show up. Can't take a quarter off. And yeah, maybe he's missing a couple of shots here and there. It was great to see him make a three as well. But like, I just need him to shoot so much more than he has been. I need him to be aggressive, and that's insane for me to knock him down, peg him down a grade or two for just not being aggressive, because he was trying to get boards. Like, I was excited to see him like reach for boards and stuff like that, and get back on transition and stuff like that. Was good to see too. I think he stopped a couple of drives. But my main thing is this: he's not aggressive with the shot right now. Yeah. When that's all we saw from Dominican Republic. And Cameron, you and I were talking to each other. Man, I love this cat. This cat, I want this cat. The Dominican Republican cat.
Even preseason, I know I keep talking about it, but like that in the preseason, he was playing really well, fitting into the scheme, fitting into the system, shooting threes confidently. And now suddenly it's like he's terrified to shoot a three. And now he just has to drive every play. And it's like, well, we have Ant that can do the driving a lot more efficiently. I get that he's going to have a 4 or 5 on him that might be able to go by, but he's not that fast anymore. So it's just, I don't know. I want threes, and I think that he can hit them. I think I have more confidence in his ability to hit threes right now than he does. So, yeah,
I agree with this, TC, with the exception of that we wouldn't call him a ball hog. We are clowns, and we want him to shoot as many times as possible. I've never called him a ball hog, and I would never have. I've never dreamt for anything more than for him to be more assertive than he has been. And even in like the Butler years, where he was getting like 6 to 9 touches a game sometimes, like all I wanted was more Cat. Like he was kind of deferred into another. He was like pigeoned into a role in that system. And in this system, it's like so free flowing that it should just be Cat, come off the screen, or Cat come off of a roll and or like a whatever they call them, where you like run around the 3-point line and get the ball and shoot it like you had the most fun you did since getting drafted in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I will never call him a ball hog because what I want him to do is shoot 10 threes a game, period. And we haven't seen that in games 1 and 2 so far. But
I think we've been pretty consistent about that. Also, clowns, the personal insults, TC. After all we've been through, I can't believe this.
I actually think, this is cool. I think Finch needs to coach more and call plays first 20. I don't know what first 20 means.
I think Finch needs to call more plays first and 20. I don't know. Yeah.
But like, I think I agree with you. I think the free flowing offense, we were kind of talking about this like pregame a bit, or like a pre-tier list. Like Cat might need more of a system, and because a defined role, like he was working in the Thibodeau system, but like in the Finch free flow, he'll pop off, he'll get his, and we need it. But I just feel like it's nice to have the luxury of Naz Reid when he doesn't have it, right? It's nice to go to that and have a slow-mo and come in and like spell time for him. The biggest thing I think I saw in the preseason, like he was so aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, this is an extension from what he brought from FIBA. He was very aggressive. And I thought, man, we don't need to rely on him for 40 minutes a game anymore, because like we're so much deeper, and we have a reliable big off the bench, or 2 bigs off the bench. If he can go hard for every minute, aggressive for every like 5 minutes he's out there, in those 5-6 minute stints, man, I would love this version of Cat. But anyways, there he is tonight. We won, and it's a very kind of average looking tier list. It potentially could get a little bit more average here with Anthony Edwards, 19 points, 7 assists, 1 trip to the line, 3 for 5 from 3, not bad, and a couple assists and a couple turnovers as well. Give a grade for Anthony Edwards.
I do.
In 3, 2, 1. C.
D'Lo. Borderline Wancho.
Whoa. Break it down.
He only got his points late in the game when it didn't matter, when they had all the confidence in the world because they're up by 15, 20 points. Before then, he looked bad. His shot wasn't falling. He was doing all the things I hate, turning into like Wiggins at times. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't feel Ant's presence in this game very much until the like garbage minutes. I really didn't enjoy this game. In fact, these first 2 games of the season have gotten me very concerned about Ant going forward. I don't understand what's happening, and I still need more time to like really understand what's happening. But it's not feeling good to me. I am worried because we have hyped him up as, not we as in you and me, but Timberwolves fans himself have hyped him up as like this super all-star MVP candidate level player. And I don't feel that at all after the first 2 games. So I am not feeling great about Ant. But I guess I'll just do D'Lo for tonight. But it is feeling not great.
Keep talking about your thoughts of feeling not great because my camera broke.
I will. Yeah, TC. So actually, first Gerald. Gerald, he refused to shoot anytime Rudy was on the court. Yeah, he doesn't know how to play with Rudy. This is what I was saying earlier. I feel like he just doesn't know how to play with other players, which is what we've like talked with the Cat about and others. He can't play. It's like he doesn't get it. There are times when I think him and Rudy do look good out there, but I don't know. And then TC, Ant's reading press clippings too much. He posted a video before tonight on his social media that was like, yeah, look at me. And like all these clips of people talking about like how he is like MVP level coming up this season. And it's like, this was nothing tonight, And this is me again reading way too much into like fan momentum and things like that. But I do think a way to gain fans, especially nationally, is to not to talk betting a ton, but like is to hit your overs or be predictable at the very least. Be predictable in what you're going to do. And this was not a predictable game. And we know that as fans of the Timberwolves, we know Ant can have a game where, all these other stars like KD, LeBron, they're all getting 20 points a game almost every single game. They may have a game where they have like under 20, but most of the time it's going to be like 25 points, maybe even 30. Even if it's a loss, they're getting their own in that game. Ant does not do that. He kind of got close to doing that in garbage time tonight, but like, I don't know. I just think I'm super concerned about Ant, and I will reserve too much judgment just yet, but I do think these are my initial thoughts, and it could get worse if things don't get better.
Well, his unpredictability has become predictable for us. Now we expect it. It's what he was doing for us as a sensation is now like part of our like game plan. And now teams are worried about Ant more than they are about Cat. Cat wasn't even double teamed at all this game. Like he was kind of like shunted a couple times, but it was just played straight up one-on-one, even by smaller players. Luckily, we watched the game. We didn't like just box score watch and bet on numbers. Not trying to disagree with you harshly here, but I don't think it's a D-Lo performance. It's not like I'm completely like shitting the bed and I'm like worried relentlessly, like sleepless at night kind of stuff, because like we have so many other things to be worried about on this team. We need the bigs to work. We need the bigs to click. We need Conley's action and activity to be gelling. Ant is like a byproduct of all of that already kind of working, and then he gets to excel. In a game like this where nothing was working, the energy was low, maybe we should have asked for Ant to pick up the pace or Ant to drive to the rim. Two free throws is inexcusable for a dude who's like going to be like labeled as an all-NBA type player. We got to the line 8 times as a team. He needs to get to the line 8 times. He needs to get to the line like Shea gets to the line, and maybe Shea gets to the line a little bit way too much. I mean, like Trae Young gets to the line a little bit way too much. This is that expectation that we need to hit, and he's not there yet. So I'm with you on the fact that he was playing with like a step behind. He was playing with his laces untied. You know what I mean? But like, we want him to be aggressive. We need more from him on a given night. Nas had it going, and he was willing to pass to Nas. He was willing to play through Nas. Probably was willing to do that too. Like I think the inexcusable shit is the second half, but the first half was okay, and I thought we were probably in a losing mentality without him kind of like getting to the rim and getting a couple of his like mid-range shots up. I think he got a couple threes as well, just to kind of like keep us in the game when no one was like really working with each other. I'm just straight up saying, like, in my monotone like defense here of Ant, it's just I'm not concerned. I'm not like critiquing him in a negative light here. I am setting my expectations higher. I am hoping and wishing and wanting him to want to be at that level that we want him to be at. That all NBA pundits and all NBA preseason predictors have stated that Ant is going to be at this level. It could be MVP like one day. This is not an MVP like performance, which is like fine. We can throw this one away and like can't wait for the next game. But we can't have too many of these types of performances because like we're already looking up in the standings. Like that's how sad it is. And like 5 games in, we could be 1-5. We could be like 1-6. You know what I mean? So we can't have these opportunities lost. And so there's like almost no excuse. Oh shoot, I didn't have the energy tonight. That's actually not an excuse anymore.
Exactly. Especially, I mean, for him, like maybe in the first couple seasons, sure, but like we're in it now, like you're in a 4th season or 5th season, whatever it is. So I think those excuses are gone. Long term, I think we can probably get to some place where we agree, but for tonight, everything you described to me sounds like a D. It does not sound like what we expect out of Ant. So for me tonight, I still stay pretty firmly that he was a D. I expect more than. I mean, this is what you expect out of him from a nightly basis for this season.
Oh, I really don't. I really don't want 19 and 2. Because first game we got like 26 and 14, but we also got like 5 points or 6 points in the second half from him.
Yeah.
And then first half like this tonight, we didn't get a whole lot. We got like 10. I think we got 10 points, and then like 8, 9 points in the second half, which is if you want to be average, hell yeah. But I think he wants to be, and I think we want him to be above great. 7 assists is amazing. That is something that I wasn't expecting. 14 rebounds in the other game was amazing. Wasn't expecting to see that. I remember his defense being such a trigger for me to be like, yes. Like
I know.
We found some new like DNA in this team, and we are seeing a bit of a dude who's not there carrying on the defensive end right now. And maybe we'll get there. But like game 2, it's a long season. I'm not super worried.
Yeah, and this is just me. Yeah, because I think long term for the season, like I'm just kind of briefly stating my initial thoughts after 2 games, and I still think I am worried a little bit, but like I'm not like sounding any alarm bells or something like that. But I do, just to get it down on paper, I do have a little bit of concerns. But yes, I think I say tonight is a D.
Good.
And yeah, I expect more. But there it is. That's a really bad looking tier list. Although it is kind of
for a 16-point win, we are hypocrites.
Yeah, I mean, well, this was a 16-point win against a team that had injuries to some of their best players. That was on the night of a back-to-back in a different city, and like this is a game where we should have dominated this game from the get-go.
Yeah, that's right.
Or at the very least, like if you get punched right in the beginning, like we did, immediately respond and just like make this not a game anymore. And instead, we took until the fourth quarter to really like get anything going. So no, I don't know. And maybe my grading tonight is maybe a little reflective of how I feel after watching that game. I was not hyped at any moment. I mean, the second 3 from Nas there at the end was kind of cool, but like, I don't know. But I guess, we're only 2 games in. I don't want to freak out too much. And I guess we kind of already talked about this, but going forward, let's look at our schedule here. Let me pull it up here. By the way, brief little intermission. The Arby's thing is back. I don't know if they have tickets, but it is in the app. If you go to the app, it's in the fan zone now. There's no tickets there yet, but it does look there's a little empty space where they sometimes do put the tickets. Also, new promotion at Timberwolves games. I don't know why I'm giving them a free ad, but I am.
If you hope you like chicken.
It's called Brickin' for Chicken. And that's when they miss the opponent misses 2 free throws in the fourth quarter. So interesting. And then you get free Chick-fil-A. So people are going to go nuts about that. Also, there's some other deal right now in the app where if you buy 3 Red Baron pizzas, you get 2 free tickets to a game. So buy some pizzas. And then you just submit your receipt through the app and you get free tickets to a Timberwolves game. Yeah, I wish I lived in Minnesota. That's crazy. But anyways, schedule. Oops, I just pulled up some barcode for something.
Monday is Atlanta.
In Atlanta?
Yes,
it is in Atlanta. Yep. So Monday, Atlanta, and then next Wednesday is the Nuggets.
A quick heads up. We will not be live on next Wednesday. Right?
We will not be live next Wednesday.
You're going to be in Minnesota.
No, that's actually next Wednesday. I should be here.
Oh, okay.
I think I'll be here because next Wednesday, it's the next Wednesday after that I'm gone. I'm going to the game with the Pelicans. I'm super excited for it.
Amazing.
But
that's like birthday weekend.
Yeah, that's right. It is. But yeah, so we play the Hawks. I don't really know what to think of the Hawks. I haven't watched much of any other teams. I've watched the Spurs. I think we both watched the Spurs a little bit to see Wemby.
Spurs are fun.
I've seen some of the national games, but in general, I don't know what to expect from them.
The Hawks have started out slow. They have been chucking and just been missing. They have let go of John Collins, but like insert Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter, and they haven't missed a beat with that. And I think their shooting is just waiting to rip the lid off the rim. They're going to go in, and so they've been shooting like what we did in Game 1 versus Toronto. So they play faster than us, and their Quinn Snyder-led coach, who's been kind of established as someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. So I'm genuinely interested in that game more than the other two that we've played so far. This one I was really excited just to kick the shit out of Jimmy Butler and General Soreness.
And then he didn't play.
I also really think that Miami is going to be on their way out. Like I'm not going to scout them, but like they don't look the team that they could have been. And they made the finals a couple years, whatever, I don't care. They look so much less than what they used to be. So, but Atlanta probably is a wild card for me. So I'm excited to see how we respond and how we perform in Ant's hometown.
That's true. Okay, I forgot about that. I hate the Hawks. I've never liked them, ever. I really hate their team. I don't particularly like any of their players. So it's always not fun for me to watch them. However, yes, Ant in Atlanta is something to be excited for because he always tries to show up. Honestly, I won't get too much into betting. I feel like at some point I'll have a little bit more structure around how I want to share betting and stuff like that. But I feel good about both Cat and Ant next game. I feel like they could both have good games next game, and maybe hit their overs on points, whatever they are. Especially Ant, though. I think Ant, this is a game where he's had 2 games where I think he was either close or under his projections. And so they may go down a little bit, but him being in Atlanta, that's a good opportunity. But anyways, we're currently 12th right now. How do you feel?
Well, the season ended today. We would miss out on the playoffs, man. That sucks. Yeah. At least we got Minnesota. At least we got the Minnesota Twins in there this year.
That's true. But
we're only we only get one team a year.
This is true. Oh yeah, what is this? This is perfect.
I could have went to the MLB.
Perfect. But or this too.
Tennis, swimming, lacrosse, whatever you need me to play, I'm gonna go do it. If it's some money on the line,
trash can ball.
Trash can ball, yes, exactly. Cool. Well, yes, and Jaden back next game, possibly, hopefully. I got the Jaden shirt. You can't even see it. I'm wearing the Jaden Jake's Craft shirt.
Oh, that's so cool.
But, yes. And yes, so for those of you that are still here, eventually, one of these games here, I don't know when, I would like to do another giveaway. Probably can't do another jersey anytime soon, but do like a Jake's Craft shirt or something along those lines. Something small, but I like to give some giveaways away. I think it's fun for us to give you guys some stuff, and you're supporting us, still staying here an hour and 13 minutes after kind of boring game, I guess.
It was a boring game.
So I mean, gosh, an hour and 13 minutes is half the game anyways. So
yeah,
we have to stop.
Let's stop. Short show.
Anyways, short show as always. It was great to see everybody. If you are new here, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers ASAP. Also like the video, helps, I think, something maybe. And if you're watching the VOD afterwards and you made it this far, you got to leave Nas Reed in the comments and maybe like, I don't know, Red Baron Pizza or something. But anyways, thank you, TC. Appreciate you showing up. I appreciate everybody for showing up. And we will be back on, I believe, Monday night, if I'm remembering correctly.
Monday night.
I don't remember. Anyways.
Monday night.
See you there. See you here. Intro as the outro. 52 wins. Still possible. We'll see you Monday night.